Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm up here in the beautiful mountains of Las Vegas, Nevada, and guess what? We have it. You've been asking for it. This is the refreshed, updated 2020 Honda Civic Si. Let's talk a little bit about the Honda Civic Si. Would you believe the Civic Si has been around since 1986? And if you ever wonder, well, what does Si mean? It means sports injected. It's Honda's way of taking the run-of-the-mill Civic and giving it some of that engineering, some of that extra pizzazz that's going to boost performance, boost style, and just boost your overall driving enjoyment. Now this 10th generation, we're now in the 10th generation of the Honda Civic, first appeared, the Si, 2017. And this is going to be, since 2017, the first time that it's got any kind of major updates. Now, what's wonderful is that it's still based off of bringing a value of performance to you in a package that has not only the coupe, you could get it sedan, you could also, get it either way, which is wonderful. And then of course, if you want to go big or go home, you could go ahead and get the Type R, but I'm telling you, I think that the gap has closed up a little bit between the Si and its bigger brother, the Type R. But let's go ahead, dive into this 10th generation. I'm going to show you everything that's different. And of course, we're going to go for a drive through these mountain roads. Right off the bat, what you'll notice is new for 2020. And if you're Canadian, which we do have a lot of Canadian Rady's Rides family members, we get their headlights just like they had since day one in 2017. These are the updated full LED. So you got your daytime running lamps that are LED, headlights are LED, and turn signals all blacked out. It's funny, there's two things I'm learning that really change the look of a car, and it's gonna be the wheels, and these headlights really give it a nice updated look. As we drop down, they decided to get rid of that waffle iron style fake vent. I like the design that they went with, nice and smooth. You have LED fog lamps, a little bit of gloss black, and then this portion here is all new as well. It's gonna match the body. So this one is Rally Red, that's Rally with an E. So that piece is gonna be Rally Red. If you go a different color, then this piece of bodywork would change to suit whatever's the rest on the car. Now, as we come across the front, still that same unique styling of the Civic Si, the gloss black, you got your chrome Honda badge, and then the Si badge, which is so iconic, goes all the way back to 1986. That's really amazing. Sports injected, flat black. Now, if you know your Si history, this is the first generation to have a turbocharged engine. So behind this flat black grille with a little bit of a lower lip spoiler is going to be an intercooler because you have a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. Everything else is going to be the same as 2017. Now, when we go up under the hood, same unique body lines. I like the way they start right on the front fascia, go into the hood, and even have like a nice little turn in towards the center of the dash, gives it some character. We come around the bend, here's gonna be that extra character for sure. Updated wheel. So we're looking at an 18-inch wheel, flat black. I love that nice flat black look. Love the design. It really separates it from last year's design. Behind those 18-inch wheels, which if you're wondering, well, what's the tire? 235 on the width, 40 series sidewall. On every Si, you're gonna have your upgraded brake system. So those are larger rotors than your standard Civic. They're ventilated, larger calipers, and then beneath this sheet metal, remember the Si at this price point has adaptive dampers. So you're gonna have suspension that you can adjust with the press of a button. Lurking behind there, also you're gonna get thicker anti-sway bars. That's gonna make this Civic Si, even though it's front wheel drive, handle awesome. As we continue down the sign, you have the red on the mirrors. You can see we have on this coupe the Honda Lane Watch. That's a nice little piece of technology to let you see on that infotainment system what's in that right-hand lane. My one zonk that I still have, even with the refresh, is gonna be this chrome strip. Very out of place. This is sports injected. This is not saying sports to me. So I wish they would have just blacked it out. Still standard sunroof. One of my favorite things about the Civic Si is when you go into a dealership, there's not a lot of options. You pretty much get it complete in one package, and the package makes sense. As we go down the side, I think one of the best personality parts of this car is the body line down on the belt line that kind of comes up a little higher, and then watch as it fades away. And then you can see what we're working with those wheels again on the rear. But this is really where the chrome strip gets the biggest zonk as it flanks out like this. Flat black would have been great. We come around to the tail. What I love about the tail end of the business on an SI coupe is this is the unique spoiler. So if you go the sedan route, you are not getting this style spoiler. It's a great height. It really helps it stand out amongst the crowd of import style cars. And then of course, Civics, you're gonna get that beautiful taillight design, very unique to this car. And at night, you could tell from a mile away it's a Civic. Now, as we drop down the SI badge, I wish they would have done something with this. Now, if you get a sedan, they actually did a little bit of change, but this is the same, that waffle style fake vent. I'm gonna zonk it. I wish they would have just smoothed it out, but I do like the way the rear diffuser kind of flares out on the back. And then of course, you're gonna get that large HDMI style exhaust. For 2020, better sounds coming out of this engine and exhaust, and you'll hear when we go for the drive. But let's go ahead and check out that 1.5 liter underneath the hood. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. We do have a prop rod, but at the end of the day, when you hear the MSRP of this car, you're gonna be like, I'm okay with that. Underneath the hood though, tons of performance for that great price. You're looking at that 1.5 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 205 horsepower, 6-speed manual transmission. The car weighs at around 2,889 pounds. If you're wondering, well, what's the MPGs? You're gonna be able to have your cake and eat it too with your Civic Si Coupe. You get 26 in the city, 30 on the highway. Honda is saying that with the quicker steering ratio, you are gonna get, not steering ratio, but overall gearing ratio, you're gonna get a little bit faster 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds, 6.4, and you're gonna get better 6-gear acceleration. What I like about underneath the hood is when you pop the hood, you could clearly see your engine. I like the way there's no plastic. You got your ignition coils, your turbocharger sitting right there. Why don't we go ahead though? Let's get to the best part of any performance style car. Let's go ahead and fire this up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Honda Civic Si. We're at that point. I know I've already talked about price and I've already talked about value. How much is this one? You're looking at $25,000, MSRP $25,930 or so. It's about a $700 increase over last year. Now, before you freak out and you're like, $700 more, what? You're actually getting more with this car. It's the first Honda Civic Si to get the full suite of Honda sensing technology. So that means you're gonna get your lane keep assist, your emergency braking, lane departure, all that great stuff in a fun, affordable performance car that you could go do autocross and track days in. But let's see what you get on the interior. Now, to the door panel, I like in the coupe the way that they have the darker gray on the arm pull to close the door, and also right near the top portion where the dark material, the rubber meets the cloth. I like the way they try to give a little color. It's cloth on the back of the door panel, which I am gonna zonk, and the armrest I am gonna zonk because it's very, very hard. But I do love the red stitching. Looks very, very sporty. You get a nice pocket down there for books, a cup, a bottle, whatever you have. Now, when you get to the dash, there's gonna be some changes. I'll show you. Nice soft material. You got your faux carbon fibers, some of that dark gray material, very nicely done. You also have soft material here with simulated stitching. Here's what's new for 2020. They took a page right out of the playbook of the Type R, a little bit of red trim here. It almost looks like anodized aluminum. That's how good the quality is. There's our infotainment system screen, 8-inch screen, really easy to use. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, nice swipe feature as well. There is no navigation, but hey, Apple CarPlay, just plug your phone in. You have your start-stop button conveniently placed. I like the way it lights up red. Dual climate control, which is a very nice touch, and it shows up on the screen. Remember, you could also, if you don't like knobs, you could go screen. If you don't like screen, you could go knob. So depending on what your phobia is, you have two choices. Radio knob, this has been a big arm wrestling debate. Where's the radio knob? But they have it here on the 2020 Si. Continue our way down. We have heated seats. let me get this out of the way since it is in my way. The Honda key fob, same key fob. It would have been nice to have an SI specific one. You do have a cubby up here where you could run your USB cord, and then a nice cubby down here with obviously all the connectivity as well, which is really, really nice just to show it to you. The best part about this Civic Si, especially interior wise, is going to be this nice slick shifting 6-speed manual transmission. You could only get in a manual, so you're going to have to learn. I say learn. It's a skill you get to hold on to for your whole life. I like the red stitching. I like the leather around the shift knob. Here is our sport mode button, and when you press that, like I said, those dampers are going to change. Compression and rebound is going to change. You have electric e-brake, 2 cup holders for square box waters, which is really nice. It is that cloth material, which I'm not really digging, but like I said, price point, I'm trying to keep apples to apples. You lift it up, you get a nice little tray for Planters peanuts, and then you can put larger bags of snacks down there. Even you could probably get a whole gaggle of bananas if that's the right terminology for that. But close that up. Seats. Now here's a new change. They updated the seats. Love the red color. Still has that SI embroidery, and I'm telling you, they hit the nail on the head with making a seat that's supportive and comfortable and looks good all at the same time. And the last piece of the puzzle, that sunroof comes on all SIs. So that's part of that price. The price isn't really going to go up, unless, destination charge or whatever. But come on over to the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel of this 2020 Si. All right, guys, business time. I love the way the seat fits me. I'm 6 feet tall. It's manual controls, but you could really tune it exactly to your body type. Speaking of tuning, check out where you're going to be doing your dancing. So you have your beautiful aluminum pedals. I love the way they look, and the placement is really, really spot on, especially if you're going to do that heel-toe downshifting. Steering wheel, the thickness is great. I love the red stitching. The Honda badge staring you right smack dab in the face. There's been some updates with the new Honda sensing technology, and what's wonderful about their lane keep assist, it's not the ping pong type. And what I mean by ping pong is that many different manufacturers, when you go out of your lane, it snaps you back instantaneously, and then you bounce off the other side and you go boom, boom, boom down the road. With Honda sensing technology, it's a lane centering, so it's actually going to center you nice and smooth. Now, you could go into your different controls here with the buttons. There's our dash, just like before. I really, really like the way that they have all that information you could go through, and it really is easy to access. So if you want a boost gauge, bam, we got you covered in the Honda Civic Si. You got your coolant gauge and your fuel gauge, which is like a digital bar design. Looks great, easy to see, easy to understand. View out over the hood is awesome. Let's go ahead. I know you're going to ask, so I'm going to do it. Let's check out the back seat and see how much room you have back there. All right, guys, time to check out. You wanted a coupe. You got people saying, no, get the 4-door sedan. You need to drive people around. Let's see how it is if you have a friend named Joe Rady that's 6 feet tall. So we're going to go ahead. I already moved the seat forward. Moves nicely out of the way. Drop in one leg. And you know what? If you're not going too far, it's actually not too bad. I am having to hunch over just a little bit, but I am 6 feet tall. And seats are very comfortable. You do have 2 cup holders, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the seat back just to prove a point. Even with the seat back, I still got plenty of leg room. Just headroom is compromised, but it is a coupe, and you're still not laying over like in a Camaro or a Mustang. So definitely still usable. Why don't we go ahead? Let's check out the trunk on this Civic Si coupe. Sometimes what deters us from getting the coupe that we really want is that back seat room and, of course, the trunk space. Let's go ahead. You just push the button, nice and easy. Look at all the room in there. And we have our luggage from our flight sitting back here just to prove a point that you have tons of space, large opening. And then, of course, you pull these handles, 60-40 split on those seats going down, which you could put even longer items. But why don't we get to the best part of this Civic Si? I've been chomping out the bit. I know you are ready. I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take this Si for a spin. All right, guys, we're here in Vegas. I know we were at that other location in the mountains, but we wanted to start the drive down right on the strip here. Unbelievable experience. So glad to be able to share it with you. And another reason why I wanted to start it here, besides it being Las Vegas, we're here in Vegas, baby, is because I wanted to show that with the Si, driving it in this traffic situation is a piece of cake. And I'm even gonna do something that maybe you couldn't do in other cars. I'm hitting the sport button that I showed you earlier. When you hit sport, it shows an image of the SI on your dash, and that's gonna stiffen up the dampers. It's also gonna adjust the operations of the engine and the steering and all that kind of stuff, throttle input. And you're gonna see that driving around even Las Vegas here with all these people, piece of cake, easy, comfortable, wonderful setup, especially at the MSRP of $25,000. I know Lori, when we were looking at BRZs and whatnot, she considered a Civic Si just because of all that value in the end, that you do get the complete package. But interior is very straightforward and it makes sense, especially that split level center console that I was showing you earlier. You got tons of storage in here. It makes it so very easy to navigate through. But right now we're passing Paris here in Las Vegas, not Paris, France, but Paris in Las Vegas. We got Caesar's Palace on the other side, Bellagio, Bally's up ahead, but just great to be able to share with you. We're gonna try to get past through some of the city traffic and find some roads to do some real driving on. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, I want to do a little quick acceleration test. I'm going to do it without touching the steering wheel to look at torque steer. But here we go, first gear. We are off and running. Look at that, nice and straight, not touching the steering wheel. Now the road is turning, so I have to grab the steering wheel. So you can see that even with this being the SI, it's not the Type R, Honda has done a great job with fighting that torque steer, especially from a dead stop. 205 horsepower, you go up to the Type R, you're looking at 306. But we're gonna try to get into some bends here to kind of show the great handling aspects of this Civic Si, especially with the refreshes for 2020. Into this high-speed right-hander, over the bumps. Really, really, I'm telling you, it handles the bump. And I'm in sport mode with the stiffer suspension. Feels great. You can hear the increased sound. Now, I did talk to the Honda engineers, and they said that there is no artificial sound being pumped into the cabin, that it's actually just sound enhancement. So take it for what it is. That's what the information I was given, but that's what they brought up. All right, guys, once again from a dead stop, on roll, here we go. There is that rev hang that still is there, but you know what? For this price, it really has the performance, good sound, very, very nice planted feel, even in the sport mode and this bumpier road. I don't know if you heard that beep. You do have a shift indicator, and you can actually put up shift lights as one of your options when you're toggling through. I showed you the boost gauge earlier. You can put shift lights, and you also have an audible shift indicator to tell you when to shift. Going into this little roundabout section here, you can really see the handling of the car. Really, really great. Brake feedback is good. Steering input is awesome. On throttle. Nice and smooth. That's the wonderful thing too, is how smooth it is. And you're not really waiting for boost to come in. That's the great part too. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna try this little roundabout here. Front wheel drive. Look at this. Really great. On throttle. On the brakes. Really, really smooth. Back around. Not a ton of understeer, which is nice. Shifter could have a little bit more mechanical feel to it, but other than that, you can see how that front end, even for a front wheel drive car, stayed nicely planted through that roundabout, even as I was picking up speed, which is wonderful. Let's try this again here. Through the roundabout, on throttle, 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 throttle out. Here we go. So surprisingly very capable, not getting a lot of front end push, which is normally what you would find in a front wheel drive car, and being able to roll on throttle quite early is really surprising. Now I talked about redline. Redline in this car is at 6,500 RPM. That is what you're looking at when you come to that little topic. But and I'm telling you, these roundabouts are great. On throttle, coming out, on the brakes, really smooth. Nicely done, really balanced car. And I would love to take this out onto a road course and really show you the ins and outs of how this car performs, because it is really, really surprising how much they're able to squeeze out of this package. Once again, let's try this one here. Down to second. Very nice. On the brakes. Good feedback. Really nice. Here we go. Little, you can hear that rev hang, and that kind of is a little finicky, but other than that, she's feeling really, really good. Another thing I was wondering, I actually asked the Honda people, was, you know, about auto rev match downshifting. I know a lot of people have asked me about that. The Type R has it. SI still hasn't picked that up yet, but we'll see when we go for another refresh or another redesign coming up. I'm sure that will be technology that trickles down, because think about it. The Hyundai Veloster N has it. The Type R has it. I think you're gonna see eventually this SI having it. But hopefully this gave you some great feedback on how maneuverable this car is at high speed and at low speed, plus being used as a daily driver. Clutch pickup is great. Placement of everything inside is really nice. Is it perfect? No. And it's going to take some things to bring it up to a higher level, near perfect. Definitely the armrest for me is really where that's a sore spot, especially because, you know, I like to have my arms on the armrest, and I like a little bit of a soft material rather than this cloth. But other than that, driving position and stuff is really, really great. Drop the rev hang, add a little bit more power. I think you got something to really look forward to with that next generation. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to our little location and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, what can I say? It's been an amazing journey out here in the mountains of Las Vegas, Nevada with this 2020 Honda Civic Si. Definitely got to thank the whole Honda crew from Honda American to invite Rady's Rides out and allow us to really put this Si through its paces. So glad to share it with you. The big question is this the best bang for your buck for $25,000? If you want something sporty, I'm gonna say 2 thumbs up, heck yes. But if it's things like these you wanna see and keep seeing on the channel, write a comment in that comment section. If you are new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help make and keep helping us make great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee on this journey with me, going through life, lifting weights. What better things to do to share our car passions with you? So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.